Okay guys, so run lab. Our first step, we're going to go on to strike now. So our first step is how the foot strikes the ground, how it lands. So our first runner here, he's a heel striker. Our second runner, a midfoot or a flat-footed runner. And this guy here, he's landing more on the forefoot. We've got to think about running technique, not only because we want to run faster and go for longer without tiring, but we've also got to look at it from an injury perspective as well. So this chap is 70 kg person running. He's got a strike rate of around 90 steps per minute. Do the maths. That's going to be transferring through his leg every minute over 6,000 kgs through one leg. Now, if he's going to take him about 10K is going to take him about 40 minutes. Again, multiply that by 40 minutes, and that is a lot of weight that we transfer through our legs as we run. So from an injury perspective, what I'm going to give you is this chap strikes the ground and all that weight is transferred through bone predominantly. There is no softening through ligaments, tendons, and muscles. Whereas this chap here, as he lands, he's landing using what nature has given us, this natural elasticity that comes through our tendons, our muscles, and through the fascia that runs through the body. Okay, so what is the stretch shortening cycle? This is probably the secret to performance running, and not a lot of people will talk about this part of running and human beings. But basically, the stretch shortening cycle is something that animals have, and it's something human beings should utilize when they run. So it's that point when your foot lands on the ground and where we get that elasticity from. So as the foot lands on the ground, the muscles, tendons, and ligaments will stretch. As they stretch, they store roughly 50% of the energy that will recoil and drive you forward. So without the stretch shortening cycle, your economy is going to be way, way higher. The heel striker, the flat-footed runner, or the mid-foot strike runner, they cannot utilize the stretch shortening cycle like the forefoot runner can. Okay, so we've looked at the stretch shortening cycle, and now we're going to look at something called economy, or economy of motion. So as we run, if you're overstriding, or if you're heel striking and your foot is on the ground for too long, or what else? Maybe you're oscillating, maybe you're bouncing from side to side or bouncing up in the air too much. Anything that is not optimum for correct running economy is going to cost you more oxygen for a given speed than it should. So we're in the endurance game. One of the key things you've got to be from the start of the swim to the end of the run is economical with all your actions, whether it's swimming, biking, or running. And because we see that running is our weight-bearing sport, it becomes even more important not to waste a single step when you run. Okay, so in the run lab, you're going to get me talking about strike rate. What is strike rate? Basically, strike rate is the number of steps that you're taking on one leg per minute. Now, when you're out there running, it's quite a cool thing when you're racing, just to make sure you're in your racing mode, if you like. So as you come out of transition, to count, and you'll feel that rhythm when you're on 90 steps per minute, or when you're on 95 steps per minute. You'll feel the rhythm as you start to count. Because if you're on 85 steps per minute and you're fatiguing, you're going to be right off economy, and it's going to cost you more oxygen per step to run at 85 steps per minute than it is at where you're most economical. So strike rate is about, you can do it over 15 seconds. So you start, 15 seconds, count one leg, 1, 2, 3, times 4, how many strikes per minute? Okay, so that's what strike rate's all about.